Big Ten availability list, you were listed as questionable today. Should you be questionable every week now?
I hope not. I don't really know how to answer that. Yeah, I hope not. I was just battling a little thing, but I'm all good now.
What was the key for you guys to get to the quarterback?
Coach Belichick calls a great defense. So honestly, it's really just doing our job. That's all I could say about that. It's just doing our job and trusting in his plan, our game plan, and everyone doing their job, all 11 on defense.
Did you guys get sorted out after that first quarter?
I mean, kind of just some self-inflicted stuff. We thought, the first drive, I think I missed a read. I thought they kind of confused me on the coverage on third down, and they actually dropped 9. So they only rushed 2 and dropped 9, which is the exact opposite of what we were expecting in that down and distance. And then the second drive, me and Kalecki weren't on the same page on a shallow route where, I thought he was going to keep on running, and he set down. But, it's just little things like that we just have to get corrected. So, I felt like the first time we really made an explosive play, that kind of kicked the door down for everybody on offense, and we really got rolling after that.
Speaking of that first explosive play, what was kind of going through your mind on that 4th and 1 that ended up going to Giles, and, what did you like about that look?
I mean, we tried to, quick snap them, and they called a timeout, and we had a run play on initially, and then, I thought Coach Fisch called a really, really good call for that scenario. I mean, it's a good call if it works, but it is 4th and 1, so I thought it was a great call. We executed it really well, and I thought Giles was great after the catch. So.
Zach, you guys appeared to struggle controlling the run game early in the game, but then things kind of settled down. What was the difference? Did you guys change something schematic, or what was the difference?
I think we just had to kind of just settle into the game a little bit. I think we kind of got caught off guard just a little bit right away, honestly. I don't think we were playing our best ball. But, yeah, we just adjusted, figured it out.
So, 21 of 26, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. About as efficient as you can get. Exactly. It's been a couple games in a row now. Can you just describe how you think you performed and how that ball is feeling come off your hand?
I mean, it's feeling good. I just think there are things that I have to clean up. Like the first third down, as Giles is sitting down in zone coverage, and it's going to be a first down if I make the right read. And then, there was another play last week with a similar situation on 3rd and 9 or 10 where I could have done the same thing. So it's just, playing quarterback, playing the position, taking care of the ball, and, ultimately just distributing the ball to the playmakers. So I think if I can do that and just try and get better each week, this is not a finished product by any means, but, just try and get better each week and, see where we can take this thing.
What are your thoughts on what Denzel Boston has done the first 2 weeks?
I think he's been great. Obviously he had a great spring for us, great camp, but to see him come out there in game scenarios, make plays, had 2 touchdowns today. And the best thing about Denzel is he's always hungry for the next one. He had 2 touchdowns today, and it was in the 4th quarter, and he was like, man, we should be up by more than this. So that's the thing about Denzel that I love. So we got to keep going as an offense. We got to come back to work, and obviously a big week ahead, but we have to have a great week of practice.
Touchdown pass to Decker DeGraff. Can you kind of take us through that play and break it down?
Yeah, I mean, it's a play that we thought we would have coming into the week, and anytime we can get Decker on a linebacker, we feel good about it. So, I mean, we were out there after practice on Tuesday working that one specific play for about 30 minutes, just that one specific, play versus the look we think we're going to get and, where I'm going to throw the ball and he's going to be there and score. So it's pretty cool to see that come to fruition after all the work we put in this past week on that specific play.
Because he's a freshman. Any hesitation with that freshman, or talk a little bit about that?
Let it eat.
Were you guys repping that play because they showed that certain look on film a lot last week, or? Okay.
We felt good about it.
Well, Jeremiah didn't have any catches in the first game, 5 catches today and a touchdown. How important was it to get him kind of incorporated into this offense?
Yeah, no, we definitely wanted to. I think he's really good. Big, physical, can do a lot after the catch. So it was definitely in our game plan to try and get him going early, get him some momentum, some confidence. So it's good to see him playing well. And I think if he, Giles, and Denzel can all play at a high level, we'll be pretty explosive in the passing game.
What extra dimension does he kind of bring to this offense? Like, what are his best traits?
I mean, he's just big and physical. I think he's really, really good. 50-50 balls. We haven't really gotten to see that yet. I mean, I thought we were going to hit one today, and, you're a couple inches out of bounds, with the ball on the right hash, short field right there. But, we'll hit it. That's a play we'll come back to, and, I have no doubt that he'll make that play.
Zach, you had to wait a long time to get on the field for an extensive time for Washington, and now you've played 2 games. Coach Fisch said you were a little rusty last week, but, that was to be expected. Describe your play. How do you feel right now?
Describe my play in terms of what?
Being able to play finally at Washington, and you had a big day getting into the backfield, so it must be coming along.
Yeah, I'm definitely growing in the game, just getting more snaps and stuff. I still think I feel a little rusty. I don't feel as good as I want to. But that's, we have practice, more games and stuff, and so I should just keep getting better. I think we do a great job of practicing hard during the week, and we're a team that's going to stay on the rise through competition and stuff like that all the time. So I feel decent about where I'm at, but I'm not satisfied. I'll just say that.
Zach, considering that long layoff, what did it feel like to get that first sack today?
Felt pretty good. I was pretty hyped. Yeah, I guess I can really say about it. It felt pretty good.
Zach, can you describe how this Belichick defense just plays to your strengths?
I think it plays kind of to everybody's strengths. I think we do a great job of putting people in position where they're good, and we all trust in it. All 11 guys on the field trust in what we're going to do, and we, obviously we have times where we have some mess-ups, but we're growing with it, and I think, as we continue to grow, it'll just keep getting better and better. But I think it allows a lot of guys to play fast. I think that's one big thing.
Well, when it's 4th and 1 and you're deep in your own territory and you're trailing, and your coach says, "Hey, we're going to go for it." Does that build up any extra goodwill with him? Like, all right, he trusts us in this situation.
Yeah. It's good. I guess hindsight's 20/20. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool to shows that he has the confidence in us to get a yard. I think if it's 4th and 1, really anywhere on the field, I think it's kind of a mindset play. It's a toughness play. It's a mentality. That we're gonna get a yard on 4th and 1. So yeah, I think it's cool that Coach Fisch shows the confidence in us to do that.
Were you surprised at all that was the call, or to go for it,
Or not necessarily to go for it, but the play action, I was a little bit surprised. But that's one of my favorite plays. We had that play in last week, and I love it because it's a shift and a motion and then play action. So it's a lot for the defense, but it's really simple and easy for us. And then, obviously, anytime you can get the ball to Giles, he's elite with the ball in his hands.
Will, as a leader, how do you take it upon yourself to keep the team even keel in both success and adversity? The first 3 drives, you punt, and then you get on the roll there. Just trying to keep everybody even keel. How much do you take that upon yourself?
Yeah, I take a lot of pride in, telling guys just play the next play. It doesn't really matter what happened or what the scoreboard says, what the situation of the game is. Just play the next play and play up to our brand of football. Like, it doesn't matter who's in the game, what down it is. Like, just stay even keel, take it one play at a time and play how we play football at the University of Washington. So I guess that's the main thing, good or bad, just trying to stay even keel because, you have to play the next play. And you don't want to be, like, emotionally hijacked about the next play because, my dad's a high school coach, and he always says when emotions go up, clarity goes down. So I try and just remember that throughout the game, just trying to stay even keel and, just take it one play at a time.
Were you nervous at all, though, or were you worried at all a little bit when the offense just wasn't going at first?
That's football.
Zach, you weren't the only one to get their first UW sack today. Linnaeus, Deshaun, those guys. What's it like to see, your teammates kind of break through that barrier too?
Oh, man, that's awesome. Deshaun, he came in. He's been working his tail off. Been a great teammate. There's nothing better that you can ask for than when, like, transfers come in and they just fit the culture and buy in and don't complain about nothing and just work hard. Like, you love to see that. So that was great seeing that. And Linnaeus, he from about a couple hours away from me back home in Minnesota, so that's my dog. That was super cool to see him. Big E, we call him. That was really cool. So that made me super happy.
Zach, as a unit,
Zach, as a unit, the defense came up with a lot of big plays today. Obviously, in the first quarter, off that blocked punt, you hold them on 4th and goal. You also force that fumble in the second to kind of get the offense going. So how does it feel kind of as a unit? You always seem to have that big play in your pocket when you need it.
Feels good. I mean, that's our job, right? So, if that wasn't the case, then we're, letting the team down. We came into the week, big emphasis on taking the ball away. I don't know how many we had, but that was one of our goals. So, it feels pretty good. But we still got some things to clean up. I don't think we played our best game, honestly, not even close. So, yeah.
Hey, Zach, a little bit off topic. Has there been any talk about you getting an extra year for what happened last year?
From what I know, I'm a redshirt junior, so I have received the year back. But I'm not 100% sure on that. I honestly don't really worry about it too much. I'm just where my 2 feet are playing this season. So I really can't answer that, honestly.
Will, how important was that 4th and goal stop for the offense to watch the defense pick you guys up like that?
It was awesome. I mean, obviously we have to start better and things like that, but anytime, you have a defense like we do that can stop them no matter the situation, we feel like if we, turn the ball over on downs inside the 10, on our own 10, we feel like our defense is going to get the stop. And, that's just the confidence we have in our teammates, confidence we have in each other. If the defense is struggling, we fully expect to go back down and score a touchdown the next drive. So it's, we're one team. We all play for the University of Washington, and, we all have the same goal in mind.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Well, good afternoon. It's better than midnight, I guess, right? Awesome environment out there today, and can't wait to continue to see how this environment continues to build when the students come back. I think it's just going to be awesome. Excited about the way our defense played again, 2 games in a row without letting up a touchdown. That's impressive and doing a really, really good job. We put them in a really bad spot early, the first drive with the block punt, and for them to bow up and stop it was big. In fact, that guy makes a 57-yarder. Hats off to him. It's a heck of a kick. I heard it was the 2nd longest ever in Husky Stadium. So that was a boot. And then a kick at the end that they made to make it 9. I think offensively, we need to continue to work on, getting a good opening drive out of the way. With 3 and out wasn't very much fun today. I thought it was a second drive when we started on the -3. That's a little more challenging. Got to the 40 before we punted. And then I think the 3rd drive, we had to punt it away as well. Need better by me. Need better by the players execution-wise. But it starts with me on that. After that, I think we got in a great rhythm. I think we scored a bunch of 4 touchdowns in a row or something to that effect. Then a field goal. I think we had 5 scoring drives in a row. Disappointed about the field goal. Spoke to Jonah about that on 2nd and 1. That never should not have been a bounce there. Should have kept that inside. But that was not a time on 4th and 2 that I felt like I wanted to go for it. with the score of the game. And then Damon did a great job. Then he had a welcome to college football moment. Damon doesn't need to lower his shoulder. And even though when he lowered his shoulder, he didn't get tackled, he winds up, fumbling the ball a yard and a half later. So learned from that, but came right back, did a great job when he came out for the next drive. Big-time 3rd and 10 throw to Rashid. That was a beautiful ball on the sideline to seal the game. And but we need to be better. Too many penalties. Too many special teams plays that weren't very good. Can't have a bad snap on an extra point. Can't have a blocked punt. Need to be better there. And then we obviously are very happy, though. We came out on top. I certainly quickly saw some scores out there, and seemed like the MAC had a good day today, and on also pretty tough football games all around the board. So we're excited for the win, and now it's Apple Cup week.
How quickly did you make the decision to go for it there on 4th and 1 from your own 30?
I kind of I felt like it was time that we needed to do it. As soon as when we were a yard short, I just said, we're going for this. Then I said, am I really going for this? And then I said, I'm going for this. And then they took a timeout, and I said, Steve, are you cool with me going for this? And he was awesome. I think sometimes when you're the head coach and the play caller, it's also important to game manage. And so I checked in with him, and I said, are you cool with me doing this? And he had the greatest answer of any defensive coach I've ever been around, and it's, hey, it's our job to stop them no matter where they get the ball. And when you have that kind of confidence within each other and within the program and the trust that he has on us and him and the defense, we went for it, had a big play. We felt good about our play, and then I think that really gave us the momentum we wanted.
Jedd, why do you think you guys have had these slow starts in these first 2 games, and what did you then kind of do to get out of that little funk?
I don't know. We had that at Arizona, too. We had the first 3 games last year. I think we had a slow start I kept hearing about. I don't know. I just remember Coach Carroll said when we were in Seattle, you don't win the game in the first quarter. You don't win the game in the second quarter. You don't win the game in the third quarter. You win the game in the fourth quarter. And it's our job to make sure that we continue to improve each quarter. Some of it comes down to we got to get off the field quicker. We got to get more possessions in the first quarter. I think we only had 9 plays. We got to convert on 3rd down. I'm not exactly sure why we didn't on a couple of those. I thought we had a couple opportunities to convert. We didn't. So we got to get better, and that's on me. It starts with me. Maybe we'll look at some other ways to get that going a little quicker, but I'm not going to get overly wrapped up in it because I think if I just talk about it all the time with the team and then we don't start fast, then what does that mean, right? We just got to finish strong. That's my thing. Finish strong. I think we've done that.
Decker DeGraff had another touchdown catch, and it seems like, he's a real momentum changer. Could you talk a little bit about him again?
Yeah. I don't think he sees himself as a real momentum changer, but it seems like both plays he's made have been momentum changers. I'm not exactly sure why that's been the case. There was, we said the first time we got to the 30-yard line, we were going to call that play. I think if we got to crossed the 40, I think was what I said to the team last night. So we got there in the 4th possession. I think if we got there in the first possession, I would have called the play then. So it just happened to be we were kind of stale for a few series, and then we felt like we were going to get the coverage we wanted. We felt like we were going to get the look we wanted. We did. And it was a beautiful throw and a beautiful catch. There's nothing easy about that play. And no matter what, if you get the coverage you think, you still got to convert.
What was the plan with mixing DeMond in for a snap or 2 here or there earlier in the game like you did?
Yeah, just watching their film from a year ago and last week, they've gone against a lot of running quarterbacks or guys that have dual threats to them, and that it does change their gap integrity a little bit, and we felt like there was an opportunity there that if we felt like we wanted to give a little bit more challenge in the, for their run game and the way they play. They're very sound, but with that being the case, you kind of have a great feel for what they're trying to do on defense, and we felt that if just lining up and just running the ball was going to be hard because they're so physical and old. They got a bunch of seniors and smart football players, extremely well coached. So we thought mixing some different things in was going to help us in this game.
Obviously has a track record coming from Mississippi State, but to see him doing what he's throwing, the kind of balls that he's throwing right now, coming off an injury year and doing it for you, how reassuring is that to see?
Yeah, I'm real happy with Will. I think I don't think I've ever had a quarterback that had almost the exact stats back to back. I think he was 20 for 26 last week, 21 for 26 this week. I told him next week I'm looking for 22 for 26. He threw 3 touchdown passes. He hasn't turned the ball over. He's made great decisions. He's becoming more confident in the offense. I like the way he's playing, and I love the attitude he brings every single day. And I'm proud of him. I think it's a lot, to come across the country and lead a team that just, had the success they had with the quarterback they had, and super happy for Will.
Your thoughts on the Big Ten? He's questionable on the Big Ten availability list before the game. Did you ever think he wasn't going to play today?
I was concerned how much he could play. He wasn't able to practice very much this week, so we had to see, how much we could get him rested and better to be able to play.
What are your thoughts on what Denzel Boston's been able to do the first 2 games?
Really happy for Denzel. I think he's coming into his own. I'm going to continue to challenge him. We've had really good wide receivers at different places that Coach Cummings and I have been at together, and then other places that I've been at it with other people. And Coach Cummings does a phenomenal job with the wide receivers and developed for the last couple of years some really good ones in Tucson. And now he's doing a fantastic job with the development and now watching Denzel roll.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about, it looks like early in the game you started using 6 offensive linemen. Did that have anything to do with Quentin being out, or is it just some new schemes you're running?
No, it had everything to do with Quentin being out. We lost an extremely good blocking tight end for at least this week, if not a couple more weeks. And not exactly sure when he'll get back, but that's a critical loss. It's a critical loss. That's a really, really good football player who brings great value in the running game and in pass protection. So we feel that that's one of the things that we can do to be able to keep some of our schemes going, but just bring in Zach Henning in that role.
Going to be the guy, if you're going to use the 6 offensive linemen, is Zach pretty much going to be the guy?
I don't know. He was the guy this week. We'll watch the tape. We'll see. It was great to see Max McCree out here playing. So then we'll see what that looks like with Max and Swanee and Kali. And, we're still working the ground. We're still moving our offensive line around and trying to get the right combination.
You talked about the thought process of going for it on 4th down, but what about the decision to go on for the play action and go for the passage out instead of just running the ball? What about that look did you like?
I like the call. I liked the execution of it all week. We've practiced, that play and plays similar to that. We've run plays similar to that for a long time since spring ball. Different variations, different looks, different plays, and Will was very comfortable with it. And your job in these scenarios is to get the ball in your playmaker's hands. That's the job of the play caller. The job of the play caller is not to try to be the genius. It's just to, hey, how do I get the ball in the playmaker's hands as quickly as possible and let them roll? And in that case, that's what he did.
7 sacks. What can you say about that? Your defense?
Yeah, awesome. I think it was 9 TFL, 7 sacks, or something like that. A fantastic job by our defensive front, and really everybody. Coach Belichick, Coach Gafusi, Coach Bala. I think there were some linebacker sacks mixed in there as well. I think Durfee had 3 of them, if I got that right. So altogether, you cause that kind of havoc. I think I mentioned it early on this week to you guys, and also I mentioned it to our team. When you can sack a quarterback, it's very difficult to score on that drive. The analytics just don't really work in your favor. So TFLs and sacks are really, really hard to overcome, as are penalties, which is what made me a little disappointed on the offensive side, losing a touchdown on a penalty. But you didn't ask about those, so. The sacks. Yep.
Hunter wasn't a huge impact in last week's game, but today he really got going. A couple of 20-yard catches, a touchdown. How encouraged were you by him today, and what changed from last week to this week to get him going?
Yeah, well, nothing changed. I don't know how other people call games, or I kind of know how some do, but We call a game on what we think is going to work for that moment in time for that play. And we don't really spend a lot of time saying, hey, I got to make sure that Jeremiah does this or Denzel does that or Giles does that. It's how does it look in a certain moment against the defense we're getting? And I never tell a quarterback to ever force the ball to a player. So I thought that what Will's done tremendously well is, hey, if Jeremiah's the guy that hits in this coverage, great. If it's Denzel, great. If it's Giles, great. If it's Latu, great. If it's Decker, great. And don't force it and let it organically happen. And today it happened for a lot of the wideouts.
Yeah, just how important was that fourth down stop inside your own 5 for the momentum of the game?
Great, really, really good. I think that the fact that our defense has a mentality of defending every blade of grass and making sure that no yard is an easy yard, and that it goes to the conversation back at the 4th and 1. Our guys have great confidence that they're going to make stops. They did it in that situation, and I believe that they'll do it again. Okay? All right. Enjoy your Saturday evening.